We shall now have opportunity for silence, prayers, or meditation. Thank you very much. You may all be seated. Honorable members of the staff, good morning and welcome to our sitting. As we are going to proceed with our program, I just want to indicate that we have suspended all the items from item 2 up to item 6, meaning we are not going to have the motions and the member statements today. We'll just proceed to item number 7, which is the orders of the day. So 7.1, the debate on the premier state of the province address. And we shall now refer to the speakers list. Our first speaker on the list is Honorable Mukhonyana, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable Members of the Agricultural Council, Honorable Members of the Provincial Legislature, our guests in the gallery, good morning. Honorable Speaker, as we debate here today, allow me to first start by taking this august house down the memorial just momentarily to the time when Master Jacques took over as the president. It was not by accident that we were first sworn in on the 18th of July 2018. A historic day in our calendar wherein the first commander from Congo, the first volunteer-in-chief of the Defiance Campaign, and above all, the first democratically elected president of the Republic of South Africa, the President Nelson Mandela was celebrating his 95th birthday. A man who lived up to his name. May his revolutionary spirit continue to guide us. Honorable Premier, you took the baton under difficult circumstances.
Point of order. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We cannot allow the situation where we go on presenting our speeches in the absentia of the Premier. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Member, the Premier is on the way, is coming. For now, the leader of business will take note on behalf of the Premier. That is the arrangement. The Premier is coming, is still on his way. The leader of business will take note on behalf of the Premier. Thank you very much. Proceed, Honorable.
Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker.
I think it must also be noted that we've got a Premier who does not take this house serious. For him to arrive this late and we're given this note, it must be noted, people of Limpopo must know the kind of leader that we have that. He does not take this legislature serious, that will even come late for this important day where we have to respond to on this speech. So it must be noted as such. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Honorable Shok, I've responded to say the Premier is coming. I've communicated as the presiding officer. I've communicated with the Premier, and I won't disclose why the Premier is late. That is why I'm saying the leader of business will take note on his behalf. So he is on his way, is coming.
But it's late.
No, he's not late. Can you proceed, Honorable Chief?
It's late as usual.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Premier, you took the baton under difficult circumstances wherein the future of the Limpopo provincial government was bleak. In 2014, corporate governance in Limpopo had actually collapsed. The province was bankrupt with no money for service delivery. Almost all departments in our province were put under administration by the national government in terms of Section 100 of our constitution. Audit opinion of various departments were discouragingly negative. With a positive mindset of a true leader that you are, you indicated that, as I quote, "It is during moments such as this when we should dig deep within our souls to search for that which makes us the unique people we are. It is not a secret that the image of our province has suffered a great deal as a result of negative reporting, which at times has shaken even the faith of our people in the ability of their government to deliver. This moment should afford us a unique opportunity to self-introspect, while at the same time finding closure from within ourselves, so that mistakes that we may have committed are never repeated. Together, let us embrace one another in the true spirit of comradeship, so that we are able to move on in unison. We should know that this is about service to the people and nothing more. Close quote. You further said, as I quote Honorable Premier, it can never be accepted that this province, which has produced outstanding revolutionaries such as Alpheus Maliba, John Juana Garibeng, Agma Poto, Charlotte Matega, Elias Mutwaledi, Mark Shop, Samson Doe, and many other luminaries strike through the mud as a result of senseless and heinous acts of corruption and maladministration. Close quote. Like a true captain you are, you steered the ship into the right direction. Regular overspending was kept and an unauthorized expenditure was eliminated, which in return improved the financial management of our province. One of the grievous concerns in the fifth administration was the inability of the municipalities to spend the allocated municipal infrastructure grant, whereby in the 2014-15 municipal financial year, the municipal infrastructure grant expenditure in our province was at 73%. However, through our efforts, by the end of 2017-18 municipal financial year, municipal infrastructure grant expenditure had risen to 95%. This is because we had only one thing in mind: to serve the people of Limpopo with diligence, and you are consistently doing exactly that. When you took over the reins, Premier, the province coffers were in tatters. Through your decisive leadership, you turned the tide and restored public confidence. You have also used the same energy and vigor to rebuild the same organization that has deployed you as a leader of this government, the African National Congress. There is no amount of political dithering and winning that must disfocus you, as you are about to complete a historic 2 terms as a premier of one of South Africa's fastest growing economies. On behalf of the people of Limpopo, we want to thank you, Mahlanji, for continuing to steer the ship amidst turbulent waves which were brought about by the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic and the current economic recession. Indeed, Mahlanji, as we have buffaloes and tigers elsewhere else, we have our own lion in you. We Bubezi, Yalempela, and Pagati, was Limpopo. Honorable Speaker, as the ANC-led government, we acknowledge that insecurity of electricity supply continues to be one of the greatest impediments to economic recovery and disrupt the lives of all South Africans. We are pleased as the ANC that Honorable Premier highlighted the plans for this province in playing part to end this national state of disaster in our country. Accordingly, Honorable Premier indicated that the Office of the Premier will play a major role in coordinating and giving guidance to our provincial efforts. As the ANC, we are humbly requesting that you move with speed in ensuring that the development of a province-specific and comprehensive energy plan to ensure that we build a new electricity generation capacity in our province, as we specifically announced during the State of the Province address. The ANC calls for ESCOM and our government to immediately focus on restoring additional units to operation as quickly as possible and arresting further decline by undertaking critical maintenance, ensuring power stations have skilled and experienced personnel, tackling sabotage, theft and corruption at power stations, and streamlining procurement processes. Honorable Speaker, to further reduce stress on the national grid, our ANC-led government and ESCOM must enforce demand management measures to reduce electricity consumption and ensure available energy is directed to areas and sectors of priority, including support for health and educational institutions and municipal infrastructure. We also call on our people to refrain from illegal connections, as this also has dire consequences and contribute negatively to the energy crisis that we are faced with. The ANC will lead a campaign against illegal connections to eliminate load reduction, which is placing an added burden on communities, and a call on all South Africans to join energy-saving measures to alleviate stress on the national grid. Honorable Speaker, though we acknowledge the drop in unemployment rate as reported by the Statistics South Africa, wherein the largest decrease is recorded in our province, as the ANC we are deeply bothered and concerned about the fact that the highest percentage of unemployed rate nationally is young people, the future of this country. On the same breath, Honorable Speaker, we welcome the efforts from the Presidential Employment Stimulant, which has created over 1 million work opportunities and livelihood opportunities. Our government is also creating work opportunities using the capability of organizations beyond government in areas such as urban agriculture, early childhood development, public art, and tackling gender-based violence. Honorable Speaker, through the Presidential Employment Stimulus, a further 50,000 participants for the next phase of the Social Employment Fund to undertake work for the common good will be recruited, as well as a further 86,000 participants for the National Youth Service to enable young people to contribute to their communities, develop their skills and grow their employability. 10,000 young people will also be recruited for the digitization of paper records. However, Honorable Speaker, we warmly welcome these efforts as they are the steps in the right direction to fight the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty and inequality. We are also delighted that our provincial government projects to create 6,000 job opportunities in all our 5 districts in the province through the implementation of the Industrial Parks Revitalization Program. The SEZ infrastructure development will also play a critical role in the economic growth of our province, and we are thrilled with the progress made to date. Honorable Speaker, we further encourage young people to take advantage of the opportunity presented by our ANC government in assisting small businesses. Our government is supporting small and medium-sized enterprises and making it easier for entrepreneurs to start businesses in an effort to drive economic growth and increase employment opportunities. What is also encouraging is that amendment to the Business Act is being introduced to reduce regulatory impediments for SMMEs and cooperatives, and also the bounce back loan scheme to assist SMMEs and informal businesses is being strengthened. Honorable Speaker, this is in line with our conference resolution, which called on our government to remove the regulatory constraint on SMMEs and to support micro-enterprises and cooperatives in the townships and rural economies through the creation of trading spaces and industrial parks. Access to value chains and finance for small and independent retailers and wholesalers, the provision of roads, digital connectivity, and other economic infrastructure. Honorable Speaker, it was reported during the State of the Province address by the Honorable Premier that the provincial government exceeded its target for supporting SMMEs that helped to sustain up to 1,000 jobs in the 2022-2023 financial year, and a total of over 13,000 local enterprises received assistance throughout the province. This is commendable, and we believe without a doubt that in the next financial year, much more will be achieved in this space, as you correctly committed that you shall continue to support 100 SMEs and 100 cooperatives in the next financial year. Honorable Speaker, the continuous growth of the agricultural sector will most definitely warrant a positive contribution to food availability, employment and economic growth. We are glad that several agricultural projects in our province receive the necessary attention in order to ensure food security for our people. With regard to the progress that we have made in the agricultural sector, Honorable Premier, it is evident that the ANC government will continue to support the agricultural sector by ensuring that underutilized land is brought into production and is made available to communities and historically disadvantaged individuals. Equally, the acceleration of the farmer support production unit is a critical stepping stone to the revitalization of the rural economy as they provide necessary farming implements and mechanization in rural areas. The ANC remains resolute in its commitment to ensure equitable access to land to reverse the apartheid special planning and increase participation of historically disadvantaged communities in agriculture and other land-based industries. Equally, land access for human settlement remains critical to address land hunger in urban communities. Honorable Speaker, Walter Cronkite once said, whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignorant nation. Close quote. We are pleased about the progress made towards the construction of libraries and schools across the province. We need to increase investment in infrastructure and ensure that construction of projects is undertaken with the necessary agents. This will improve access to basic services and increase the overall efficiency and competitiveness of the economy. We call on our people to protect these facilities and use them in accordance to what they are envisioned for. The beautiful thing about learning, Honorable Speaker, is simply that no one can take it away from you. On that note, we congratulate the class of 2022 for setting a new record in our province. This gives a challenge to the class of 2022 to surpass that record toward the realization of our set record of 80% pass rate. Honorable Speaker, at the ANC, we are now ever concerned that despite a significantly higher level of enrollment in basic education, many young people still drop out before writing matric. We call on our government to initiate processes that will address this problem. It must also increase the cohort of black skilled people to meet the demand which will arise because of the economic recovery process. There has to be more focus on training in artisanal, vocational and technical skills and encourage greater enrollment in colleges. TVET colleges must leave modern and up-to-date equipment on which students will train and acquire relevant skills. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the task of ensuring that all South Africans share in the country's wealth is indeed far from complete. The country's unequal distribution of wealth and income is still largely characterized by the racial, spatial, and gender demographics of our colonial and apartheid past. However, Honorable Speaker, the 55th National Conference of the ANC affirmed that, and I quote, the strategic objective of the ANC remains the resolution of the three basic and interrelated contradictions of colonialism of a special type: racial oppression, women's oppression, and class super-exploitation. We seek to achieve this through the fundamental socio-economic transformation of South Africa into a non-racial, non-sexist, united, democratic, and prosperous society based on the vision, values, and principles of the Freedom Charter and the Constitution of our country. Simply put, Honorable Speaker, the ANC is primarily about building a better life for all South Africans. As we welcome the Lion of Limpopo, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable SOPA. Thank you. Before I proceed with the speakers list, I just want to indicate there are some slightly changes on the allocations of time. So for DA, Honorable Maharaj was allocated 9 minutes. Now the DA want to reduce the 9 to 5 and take the 4 to Honorable Smiley, meaning it's going to be 13 minutes. And then again the EFF were allocated 3 speakers, each 14, so now they are left with only 2 speakers, meaning they will combine the time to being 22, 21, 21. So these are the changes that I wanted to indicate. Let's proceed with our program. Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. You are welcome to our sitting today. Our second speaker on the list is Honorable Sishoka.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to the EFF caucus led by Honorable Chidizima Raga, the party leader, the Premier of the province, Dr. Tabata, the MEC present here, and members of this August House. Receive our revolutionary greetings. Honorable Speaker, the flip-flop SOPA delivered by Honorable Matabata in 2022 spoke of the bird called Phoenix, which rose from the ashes of its predecessor. Unfortunately, the poor bird never raised, but died from the ashes of its predecessor. His so-called reconstruction recovery plan and the socio-economic recovery plan will remain a pipe dream because it does not represent the aspiration of our people, but promote the neoliberal policies which pleases the white masters who crafted all these plans which are continuing to deepen poverty in our country. In addition, in 2022, he presented the fourth industrial revolution that will be received a special attention, which he decided to ignore in his 2023 SOPA because of the messes he created in this project. Please, Honorable Premier, may you please make a full disclosure of what happened in this project. Honorable Speaker, Statistics SA is a credible institution which deals with the accurate and scientific statistics. Numbers do not lie. The Premier in the State of Address was at pain to paint the rosy picture that all is well in the province, when in fact that is not the case. The data from the Stats SA show that the number of employed persons decreased in 3 provinces between Q2 and Q3 of 2022. With the exception being Gauteng, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, the Eastern Cape and Northern Cape. The most significant employment decrease were recorded in the Northwest with 66,000 job losses, Limpopo with 55,000, and the Free State with 9,000. Furthermore, the updated unemployment data shows that there are now 2 provinces in South Africa with an expanded unemployment rate of more than 50%, where Limpopo is showing the line at 49.9%. Despite being rich with minerals and contributing to the overall mining job performance, which grew by 36% jobs, the unemployment crisis in Limpopo continues unabated. Honorable Speaker, this is the real state of the province. It is all doom and gloom, not the half-truth that was presented in the last week by the Premier Atarat. Sekhukhune district, with most mines at more than 30, remain impoverished with high level of unemployed. The majority of companies doing business in this are mostly Australian mining companies which are owned by white people. These overseas companies doing business in Sekhukhune and the other districts of our province do not comply with the mining charter and the social labor plans. And the ANC-led government sees nothing wrong with it because it is scared of white men. The legacy they leave behind is the respiratory disorder caused by the dust emission during the mining operation as well as the forest infrastructure. The mining areas are not rehabilitated after the lifespan of these mines. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is concerned that the ANC-led government is killing the traditional authority through this Pluma Act. This is witnessed by the protracted court litigation which are continuing in the province for the fight over the leadership. The socio-economic recovery plan was allocated a total amount of 503 million rands to fund short-term measures in 2021. In September 2021, the province hosted the Limpopo Investment Conference, yielded an investment pledge to the value of 208 billion rands. To what extent did this pledge grow the economy, and how many jobs did this pledge create? Honorable Speaker, the Premier missed an opportunity to give proper progress report on the Musina Makado SEZ. He told the people of Limpopo that visible bulk infrastructure projects had begun in the NS in the north part of the Musina Makado Economic Special Zone. He is telling us that they will develop a dam in order to provide water for the project, and yet he says the project is not started. How will the project proceed without water? Last year, during your SOPA, Honorable Premier, you said, I quote you, we have made a significant progress towards securing water sources for SEZ. This includes engagement with Zimbabwe and other SADC member states. I close quote. This year, you said nothing, Honorable Premier. You said nothing concrete about this engagement. Premier, let us advise you, Honorable Premier. You cannot rely on the underground water for such mega projects. This is a recipe for failure because water is key to the success of these major projects. The problem is that the underground water is not sustainable or even not reliable. But we are not surprised because half of the time the Premier speaks things that do not make political, social and business sense. Regardless of the reactionary who challenge the environmental impact assessment in court, we feel that this will continue because, Honorable Speaker, This process of EIA was done in a manner that was excluding most of our communities, like the community of Legasrad, where they were stopped to air their views in that process. So we'll expect us to continue to be litigated. That is why we're saying equally to the Feta community was SZ. Nothing is there because they are with its own challenges, which the Premier failed to clearly outline in his speech. Instead, the clown claps hands when the Premier repeated the statement he made in the previous SOPA that Feta community is in the process of finalizing its decision process. Evan, this is the story that we've been told even in the past, Honorable Speech. Last year, you told us that already 21 companies with potential to invest 45 billion and created 8,000 jobs have shown interest in the Vitacom sale. But surprisingly, there was no concrete report on this potential investment. It is crystal clear that the Musina Makado, SCZ, Vitacom and Vitacom will also experience unnecessary delays due to this poor performance. Honorable Speaker, the Premier proudly announced during the SOPA that they are currently negotiations are going on between government and a mining company in Skukuni to build a massive stadium. Honorable Speaker, your top-down approach is a problem. This non-consultative approach, which will only result in the people feeling that they are being undermined. Do not set priority for the people. Let the people set priority for themselves. The people of Skukuni need mega cities. Cities transform social lives, improve public transport, mixed cultures and job opportunities, easy access to shops and amenities. Not the stadium that he wants to build for them, because it will remain a white elephant like we're suing now, which was happening in Polokwane, where the maintenance of that does not match the revenue that is created. Honorable Speaker, the Premier missed the opportunity again to give progress on all agricultural catalyst projects unveiled in the previous SOPAs. What happened to the Chivasa estate that was promised to be revitalized into new communities? The Limpopo Abattoir and Mashashane are becoming a circus and white elephants, just to mention the few. Furthermore, the Premier deliberately missed the opportunity to update the people of Limpopo on the investigation regarding the corruption in Norjas, which is a tomato agro-processing plant in Zaneni. Millions of rands have been stolen in that project, and yet the Premier turned a blind eye and chose not to report the progress on his SOPA. Last year, during SOPA, you indicated that both Seshio and Ngwangwa will host digital hubs programs to bolster the digital training and create jobs with the broader National Infrastructure Development Program. Is this Seshio and Ngwangwa digital hubs operational? We want to put it to you, Premier, that these hubs are not yet operational and the building at the said sites are not yet renovated. Can you please honestly update this House on the real progress in this regard? The delay in the implementation of projects is the delay in job creation, while our people are continuing suffering joblessness. Premier, you announced that the government has appointed 41 engineering consultants to design roads in all 5 districts of the province. Why do you appoint engineering consultants when there are engineers in the government employed to perform the same task? What is their role and what are you paying them for? Can you please tell us how much government is going to spend on these consultants? Your obsession with the consultant is costing the taxpayer money in this province. You will continue to outsource government function as if there are no people to work for this government. In actual fact, what he was telling us is that government has no capacity to perform its own function. The solution to this crisis, Honorable Speaker, resides in the EFF Cardinal Pillar number 3 that talks to building state and government capacity, which will lead to abolishment of 10. This pillar says for a success state that seeks to derive real economic and industrial development and provide better services, an inspired, skilled and well-compensated public service is required. Premier, as much as you tell us about job creation through Sephardim mine, communities around that mine are complaining that they are not receiving their dividends. You know that. But we all know that the Tsari partner to the CMR is close relative to the Premier of this province, hence obsession with Sephardim mine. The EFF called on the people of Limpopo to see the ANC-led government as nothing but liars who use rhetoric to protect white-owned business at the expense of our people. This administration The administration of this province is in crisis, Honorable Speaker, because the captain of the ship is focusing on slogans to attain political power, just like he turned himself into a joke of the year in 2022 with this Amabubik slogan. So from now onwards, Honorable Speaker, we would like to affirm that the Premier, you have earned yourself the title of the King of Amabubesi. I thank you.
Let's proceed. Honorable Sishoka, we want to proceed. Yes, you are the one who's singing now. That is why I've called you into order. Can you proceed to Honorable?
Yes, the one who's loudest.
Come again.
The Premier was the loudest one.
You are out of order, Honorable Sishoka. I'm on the platform now. Can you keep quiet? I want to proceed. No, keep quiet, Honorable Sishoka. Honorable Rasilani, it's your turn.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. To our Honorable Premier, Honorable Matavata, the Speaker of this legislature, Honorable Mulapo, the Deputy Speaker of our legislature, Honorable Baldwin Stereke Matibe, my colleagues in the Executive Committee, the Chief Whip of the legislature, Honorable Mokonyani, and the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Apostle Muchadi, the Chair of Chairs, Honorable Munyamani, and receive our warm words of condolences on the loss of your father, the honorable members of this august house, members of the public in the gallery, blessed morning to you all. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Limpopo, led by our own Premier, we congratulate the South African women's cricket team for reaching the global pinnacle of the sport and being the runners of the 2023 Women's Cricket World Cup. This phenomenal achievement repositioned women's sports high on our transformation agenda and compels our authorities to start reimagining a world where both men and women can become equals in the truest sense. We also congratulate, Honorable Speaker, the people and government of Nigeria for holding a peaceful election in the middle of an economic turmoil. It is our wish, Honorable Premier, that all the affected parties must feel beholden to abide by the electoral results, which are by far and large a representation of the wishes of the majority of Nigerians. On Friday, the 24th of February 2023, subsequent to the State of the Province address, we attended a media briefing session hosted by the South African Police Services to announce the crime statistics for the third quarter of this financial year 2022-2023. We are delighted, Honorable Speaker, to announce that under Premier Matavata's stewardship, the Limpopo province is counted amongst the safest provinces to live in. We have recorded a notable reduction in terms of criminal offenses for the third quarter with most of our police stations marking a decline in terms of the number of offences. Honourable Speaker, in addition to these, our festive season road safety campaigns has managed to reduce the number of fatalities on our roads by a staggering 20.8%, which is a demonstration of our avid determination to drastically reduce road carnages by 25% in 2024. This is underscored by the collaborative efforts between our various government agencies and the cooperation of our road users. In response to the Premier's directive that we must convene a day prayer together with our fraternal partners in the religious and faith-based space, plans are afoot to host a joint event to pray for accidents on our roads and gender-based violence in our province. We intend, Honourable Premier, to host the event in the Wembe district, considering the rising number of cases of gender-based violence and the recent bus accident that cut short the lives of 22 passengers. This will be our demonstration that we are a government that cares for its people. Honourable Speaker, on Thursday, the 23rd February 2023, the Honourable Premier Chupuma Tawata, as obligated by ethos of our constitutional democracy, reported to the people of Limpopo about the government's plans to serve them. Premier Matawata presented an overarching synopsis of the numerous intervention mechanisms that this government has assumed to make a positive impact on the plight of our people. The State of the Province Address, as presented by Premier Matawata, demonstrated our unremitting commitment as government to do the following: to continue to be answerable to the people of this province who are the motive forces of this democracy. It demonstrated government's unwavering commitment to become an economic enabler which seeks to create an equal society in which all its citizens will have equal access to opportunities. That government is preoccupied with the advancement of the lives of the poor and the marginalized. In his State of the Province address, the Honourable Premier took time to report to the people of Limpopo about how their government fared in the past 12 months. Honourable Speaker, despite the eloquent plans that were revealed by the Premier, the opposition, true to its bizarre opposing nature and character, saw it befitting to participate in this debate like school children in a school competition. The theatric stance pulled by the EFF during the Premier's address are nothing short of desperate measures by an anarchist formation that is poised to employ intimidating tactics for political expediency. We hope that the people of South Africa are able to see that these gimmicks are just cheap political tricks by a group of political delinquents who have little interest in the development of the nation. They should be unmasked, Honourable Speaker, for who they are, and we must use every available opportunity to expose them and their devious actions. Maybe, Honourable Premier, it's high time that we must establish forums to school each other about making a meaningful contribution to this democracy and move away from political showboating. it is conspicuous. There are those who chose to ignore the immeasurable progress in terms of governance and accountability that has been registered since Premier Matavata took office. The legacy that you have built for this province, Honorable Premier, whether we decide to attach names to you, we will not be able to erase the good things that you have done for the people of this province. This country has enough problems and requires all of us to join hands and start crafting a way forward to rebuild the economy. We are presently going through a concurrent state of national disaster. We have just been grey flagged as a nation, and all this requires formations like EFF to fully comprehend the role of opposition parties in building and sustaining democracy. The ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic and the current economic onslaught owing to the stubborn and persistent power outages necessitate for an active citizen and not this political expediency and sowing of discord. Honorable Premier, we all agree that COVID-19 has caused irreparable damage of untold proportions to the global economy. This was aggravated by the recent war in Ukraine, which had plunged our endeavors of rebuilding the economy into further disarray. But Honorable Premier, like a true shepherd who is prepared to lay down his life for his flock, you have touched on all developmental aspects and have demonstrated our determination as the ANC-led government to break the shackles of poverty and provide our people with decent livelihood. Your address brought hope and courage to the people of Limpopo at a time when despondency and despair were filtering with their imagination. The restoration of projects such as the Zebediela Citrus Estate and the revitalization of industrial parks throughout the province are a sheer demonstration to contrast the myth that these democratic governments care less about rural development. We are all alive to the glaring challenges imposed by the energy crisis, with government buildings and institutions being the biggest consumers who put electricity supply under stress. The plans to restore the renewable energy in our health facilities is a quantum leap in our quest to return to a state of normality. This progressive and decisive move means that our hospitals, clinics, and other health facilities will no longer be impacted by load shedding. By this, Honorable Speaker, it means that this government will continue to provide health services to the majority of our people despite the hardships brought about by load shedding. The development and conceptualization of the special economic zones is a spectacular scheme that we are all proud of to be associated with. The SEZ, regional industrial parks, and the aggressive rollout of infrastructure projects in the form of schools, community libraries, tribal offices, and tar roads are just a few of the many examples that the state of the province address is not just a platform of lip service to our people. It is a tangible program of action with visible and traceable targets. Honorable Speaker, for our part as the Department of Transport and Community Safety, we will work around the clock, Honorable Premier, to ensure that we provide the necessary support to build the requisite capacity to support the work of the special economic zones. We are engaged in an exciting program with the airport companies of South Africa with a view of turning the tide around the provincial airports. Of course, Honorable Premier, as per your instruction, we are already having bilaterals with the Maruleng local municipality to increase the capacity of Hoedspruit Airport to enlarge its scope. The investment pledges of billions of rand that were devoted during the recently held investment conference are starting to roll into the provincial economy. There are quite a number of groundbreaking initiatives on the economic front that the Honorable Premier had pronounced on. The mining sector as the backdrop of the provincial economy continues to cushion the job market at the backdrop of this economic meltdown. It is for these reasons that government must continue to support mining and become an active player within this industry with the view of creating a much needed jobs for our people. We cannot mute ourselves to the glaring realities of a shrinking job market that renders the majority of our people jobless. Our obsession as the government of the day must be the full attainment of the economic emancipation by all and sundry. We cannot continue to call ourselves a legitimate leader of our people if we cannot make a meaningful contribution to their economic plight. In our quest of restoring the economy and turning around the fortunes of our people, we must emulate countries such as Indonesia, Japan, Germany, Poland, South Korea, and China, whose manufacturing sector represents 20% of their gross domestic product. An industrial economy that is envisaged to create in excess of 6,000 jobs is what this economy needs. Honorable Premier, we want to assure you of our unwavering support in your fulfillment of the provincial plans in Musina Makhado, in Fitako Mutubati, and many other parts of this province. We are, however, dismayed that these radical economic endeavors that is the ANC government continue to fester are being opposed by some rudimentary elements who are desperately searching for loopholes to make a quick buck. They do this by making fictitious claims on the pockets of land which are earmarked for development. This is irrefutably an evil ploy which is undeniably a regressive approach to development. In any case, Frederick Engels reminds us that, and I quote, the revolution will not develop along a straight line, like the flight of an arrow that has no hitches or interruptions. Close quote. It is for this reason, Honorable Speaker, that we are making a clarion call that our implementing agencies must do everything possible to ameliorate instances of appeals and unnecessary contestations when we want to carry out infrastructural programs. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, despite the inherent road network backlogs, this administration has constructed more roads than any other administration. We continue to make steady progress in completing number of projects which were notoriously referred to as Bermuda roads. At the rate that we are building and rehabilitating our roads infrastructure, it is practically impossible to drive through most of our province without being in contact with a road project under construction. This is our endeavor of connecting economic nodes and linking our people to economic activities. We continue to pride ourselves with the quality of the matric results, and we remain positive that through hard work and determination, we will attain the desired objective of having a fairly educated nation in the not-so-distant future. We will continue the fight against crime and corruption, and we shall make sure that Limpopo province remains a province with little or no incidents of gender-based violence. We remain indebted to the people of Guiani and the communities adjacent to the Nandoni Dam, who have exercised patience and restraint amid our continued delays to provide them with potable water. In the face of the evident service delivery backlogs, we implore all our municipalities to exhaust their allocated of municipal infrastructure grant to provide our people with basic services. Anything to the contrary is a travesty to the trust that our people have bestowed to their beloved ANC government. Honorable Premier, like a true leader, you know the way goes the way and shows the way. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. You may proceed, Honorable Maharaj.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings, Premier, and all protocol observed. Honorable Speaker, many pronouncements and promises have been made at the SOPA. However, if history is anything to go by, many will remain just that, unfulfilled promises and pronouncements. We indeed welcome the Premier's instructions to the MEC for Health.
Honorable Maharaj, sorry. May we raise the mic a little bit?
We indeed welcome the Premier's instructions to the MEC for Health to prioritize the installation of solar power to hospitals and clinics in efforts to improve the provision of health care in what can only be described as one of the worst in the country. It does, however, beg the question why this energy plan has taken so long. We have witnessed South Africa go from spending 6 days under load shedding in 2018 to 157 days under load shedding in 2022. And still there was no plan to ensure our hospitals and clinics have alternative power sources. Premier, I think as a government you have failed the people of Limpopo and have your priorities out of whack when you would rather spend 1 billion rands on a contract to scan all patient files instead of ensuring that every hospital and clinic in Limpopo has a working generator, enough fuel, solar power or inverters, and rechargeable lights. This ANC government's late response to load shedding has largely affected the lives of residents as it affects theatre operations, high care and intensive care units, renal dialysis, cooking of patients' food, and the water supply. We call upon the Premier and all watch bodies to scrutinize the tender processes on these generators and solar installations to avoid by the Department of Health. Honourable Premier, Limpopo is still faced with a very high vacancy rate on the approved organisational structure for critical medical personnel, with 76% for specialists, 54% for medical officers, 40% for professional nurses, and 79% for paramedics within the department. And this is hampering the services rendered to our communities. Appointment of critical staff must take precedent over appointing ineffective senior management in ensuring Limpopo residents that depend on public health facilities receive adequate care. It is concerning that every SOPA you fail to address the very serious matter of the 14 billion rand in medical legal cases against the health department. This could cripple health services in the province. The large amount also points to the substandard health care our people receive as a result of overworked and under-resourced personnel, and in some instances results of incompetence and negligence. Honourable Speaker, we have heard, and it has been mentioned, about the academic hospital for about a decade. Can the Premier please tell the people of Limpopo when will the academic hospital be built, and where is the budget item for this hospital? Honourable Premier, you also have an MEC that has been found guilty by the HPCSA for her unacceptable conduct of mistreating the patient. And whilst it is not her duty to attend to patients, she does so when the camera in shameful pursuit of clout. When are you going to publicly reprimand her for her utterances? Honourable Premier, you indicated another 83 road maintenance and rehabilitation projects which will be implemented in 2023-2024, but the previous year's projects remain incomplete. The ANC government and its failing entity RAL have left our roads on the brink of collapse. The projects mentioned by the Premier are a drop in the ocean when you consider that 69% of the province's roads are gravel, and it is estimated that RAL will need 138 billion rand to upgrade them, and at current funding levels, it will take 115 years to address this backlog. RAL also incurred irregular expenditure of 5.3 billion rand, including previous year's expenditure, that provincial treasury has refused to condone. Roads are meant to play a critical role in economic growth and development in the province, and ensure that there are economic and employment opportunities for citizens, especially the youth, but this cannot be the case as long as RAL exists. The provincial government should seriously examine scrapping RAL and save resources for road network infrastructure under the Department for Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Maharaj. Honourable Libya, it's your turn.
Any mortal bed associated with regenerates or is otherwise born again. It is associated with the sun, and it obtains new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. The Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier Matlaji Ashabirwa, members of the Executive Council, honourable members of this august House, distinguished guests and members of the media fraternity logged on to different live streaming channels. A very blessed morning to you. Selective listening, it's a sickness. A clear case of alaphamology arofolaro egnak. Just like the phoenix, Honourable the Premier, our province has and definitely risen from the ashes of the devastation caused by the coronavirus pandemic to embark on a fresh journey of economic growth, social development, and prosperity for all the residents of our beautiful province. Honorable Sishok, all things are bright and beautiful.
Yes.
Now we welcome you. Now we welcome you to Flight ANC-led government with the senior Captain Masakia Fabira and his cabin exco crew. Pay attention, put up your safety belt, and enjoy the ride. Yes, we are about to take off.
Honorable Sishok, we are out of order.
But Honorable Speaker, I think you must be the one to be called out of order because you allowed the Speaker here on the podium to address me. She's addressing me, then I got responsibility to respond. She called my name, I must respond.
Can I respond to you? I want to respond to you while standing.
Okay.
Honorable Sishok, in your debate, you are mentioning names here. Can I finish? You are even singing on the podium. And no one disrupted you. Can you sit down, Honorable Sishok? You were on the platform. Honorable Sishok, can I finish? No? Can I finish? Switch off your mic. No. I'm still addressing Honorable Sishok, Honorable Maraf. I'm saying, can you listen?
I'm asking you, sir.
Can you listen? No, I'm referring to Honorable Maraf.
I'm asking if I must sit down or you want me to speak.
I'm saying I want to respond to you while standing. I was saying, during your debate, you were mentioning names of honorable members. You were even singing songs here. No one disrupted you. So, can you sit down and allow Honorable Libya to proceed with the debate? Sit down, Honorable Sishok. Sit down.
As much as I agree that I'm going to sit down, but it must be noted that which you said is totally wrong. It is not true. I did not mention any name. It's Mapubeti a song. I said yes, Mapubeti, it must be a song. If you want to associate the song of Mapubeti with the union,
I'm repeating for you, sit down.
Come on.
Proceed, Honorable Libya. Honorable Libya, proceed.
Honorable Speaker, this I will repeat.
okay.
The honorable member, all things are bright and beautiful. Yes. Now welcome to Flight ANC-led government.
No, you're not talking
With Senior Captain Masakia Fabira and his cabin exco crew. Pay attention, put up your safety belt, you will surely enjoy the ride. Yes. Madam Speaker, the upsurge of the novel coronavirus pandemic in March 2020 found an already susceptible South African economy. In fact, at the time pandemic reached our shores, the South African economy had experienced 2 consecutive quarters of a recession, and the COVID-19 pandemic deepened the economic calamity. The threat of the coronavirus for South Africa is far from over, as it has an audacity, rapaciously and catastrophically left a devastating perennial scar to many. But the leaders have realized the need to get the economy back on its feet. Yet, it is now understood that business as usual is a thing of the past. In your state of the province, Honorable Premier, you made a commitment on embarking on a fresh journey, a journey that seeks growth and development, as well as prosperity for the residents of Limpopo. You further articulated on our economic recovery trajectory that will be guided by the National Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan and the Limpopo Socio-Economic Recovery Plan, and you diligently live up to that expectation, Honorable Premier. Madam Speaker, South Africa has high on its neck the consistent and glaring complication of the triple challenges, that of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. The main reason why, as the country and the province must move and ensure we attain a classless society, a society where the children of the working class, the proletariat, the peasants in their majority, will enjoy the fruits of this freedom. And that was not achieved through a bed of roses, nor a glass of a well water with over 1 million barrels, but the blood and sweat of the brave and selfless cadres who gave up their lives for this freedom we're enjoying today. And the Honourable the Premier, as young people of this country, we are reiterating the fact that the minerals, the wealth, the economy of this country is still wallowing in the hands of the minority, Honourable Premier. And as a generation, we would have betrayed ourselves and the ones to come if we really do not change the status quo. Equally, Honourable the Speaker, Marx and Engels contend that it is the material conditions of society that define its evolution. And it is on this backdrop that we welcome the leadership as presented in the State of the Province Address to be taken by provincial government and municipalities, that their plans will include the development of energy production projects. Honourable Speaker, electricity is life. SMMEs, hospitals, schools, factories, and many more depend on energy to survive. It is on this note, the Honourable Premier, that we welcome the need to prioritize the building of an uninterrupted electric power supply, capacity for essential services, and the development of a province-specific and comprehensive energy plan to ensure that we build a new electricity generation capacity in the province. And this, the Honourable the Premier, will go a long way in the lives of the people of Limpopo. Key to these developments is the prioritization of the installation of solar power to hospitals and clinics in the province. As the African National Congress, you were living up to the hopes of the Freedom Charter that states free medical care and hospitalizations shall be provided for all. And you, Matachi Atabu, you clearly advance materialistic explanation of health inequalities, informed and as a result of structurally determined inequalities in production and consumption between social classes. I will not talk about health and omit the one program that is very close to my heart, Honourable Premier, the Rural Health Matters. Honourable Speaker, since inception, the program initiative, which is unique to our province, under the leadership of yourself, the Premier, saw more than 6,000 patients with different complications benefiting. As the ANC, we will continue to appreciate our selfless volunteer medical and dental specialists who moves from one district to another in our rural hospitals, operating our people. Since last week, they were in Waterberg, and their plan is to operate 500 cases, of which to date, they have already operated more than 300 cases on that. Honourable Speaker, these are not just cases. They are human beings. They are someone's children, husbands, uncles, aunts, parents. Hence, we must do everything in our mind as this House to protect these projects because it has become the hope of the hopeless. Just last week, Honourable Speaker, we saw more than 60 people who were blind. I don't know, it's something that's 60 people who were blind as a result of cataract being able to see. This is a good story to tell, Honourable members. And I know Honourable members on my left will definitely appreciate this program. Who were blind as a result of cataract being able to see. We have stories of mothers who couldn't sleep because their children suffered from adenoids and tonsillitis, getting operated, and no more absenteeism from school whenever there is a flu season, Honourable members. Honourable Speaker, jobs have become the epicenter of any conversation of the South African economy. While South Africans have witnessed a record high level of unemployment, we really appreciate your efforts, the Honourable the Premier, and your team of men and women that you deployed in different government departments as part of your response to the devastation of our economy. And we are elated to report here that the largest decrease was recorded in Limpopo at 5.3%. That is from 36.3% down to 31%, a research number, Honourable members. Infrastructure emphasize the structural element of an economy which allow for the production of goods and services without them being part of the production services. We send words of gratitude and salutations, Matlaji, to the role to be played by the SEMA to assist middle-income earners who are financially excluded by the commercial banks when they want to purchase properties. The SOPA address highlighted that the missing middle who were not eligible to buy properties will now be able to own houses. What a good story to tell of the African National Congress-led government. Thanks to the partnership of SEMA and COGSTA, Honorable Makamo, in ensuring that the finance-linked individual subsidies implemented. The Freedom Charter states that there shall be houses, security, and comfort. And your Matlaji and your team are living up to that expectation. And now states that this is part of the government's resolve to restore dignity of our people through human settlement. By the way, Honorable Speaker, who are this missing middle? They are children of the kitchen and garden souls, the proletariats, the marginalized, and the previously disadvantaged in their majority. Madam Speaker, infrastructure development is a key enabler for growth and development. The Honorable the Premier, on the neck of this SOPA, I spoke to a few young people. I spoke to a Benicher, a founder of Babala's Archer in Limpopo. He says to me, and I quote, Honorable Monama, we were afforded relief during COVID-19, but we are still struggling to make ends meet. Could we at least have the terms of our relief revisited to make it possible for us to stand on our feet? I met again with SOPA. She's the chairperson of Businesswomen Association South Africa. She says to me, I wish to see 40% set aside for women in public procurement to be implemented, monitored and evaluated. The ANC-led government should adopt a buy local strategy for projects and produce from it. Activate LED and allocate adequate budget for their programs, and 10% departmental economic development spent to focus on transformation. I did not end there, Honorable Premier. I met with the founder of PSD, a young innovative person by the name of Fokotono from the dusty streets of Masakane. She says to me, Shemi, Honorable Sivanga should come and meet with us, or make time for us to meet with her. I'm a young person, came up with this initiative. Over a weekend, we created over 70% job opportunities. And we are doing this on our own. We want to come up with this initiative that pulls in government. So when we have initiatives like crime and drug abuse, social development will partner with us, Honorable Ndalani, health awareness programs, Honorable Ramatu, and many more. Now, we have the owners of the means of production, Honorable the Premier, who went and challenged the BBBE, and they won. And unfortunately, who are the people that are benefiting from the BEE? It's blacks in particular. What are we saying? We are saying this is the time for the province to come up with their own terms of how they let the people of the province benefit from the supply chain of all the government departments. We are saying Limpopo Connection, Honorable Premier, it must be able to connect government departments. We do not have a problem with the current network providers, but let's use the establishment of institutions that the government had put in place. If the government supports Limpopo Connection, we are saying Mohadi in Nzingi will be able to go to the libraries, Honorable Sivanda, and connect for free, effortlessly. That is the programs that we want to see the Honorable Premier. And Honorable Social. Again.
Continue. It's not a compliment. It's a compliment to you.
The Honorable the Premier. Believe you me, Honorable Premier, when we say Limpopo is sailing in the right direction. Yes, it is not, and will not be easy and smooth sailing. Notwithstanding the stormy, bumpy, and catastrophic waves brought by our friends, both in blue and red, will safely reach the shore. a show full of a better life for all the masses of our province. And just like the Funis order of the Premier, our province shall and definitely will rise from the ashes of the devastation caused by the pandemic to embark on a fresh journey of economic growth, social development, and prosperity for all the residents of our province. And in conclusion, honorable members, I hope you had enjoyed the ride. The buoy with the Captain Mataji in the front has safely landed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leguya. Thanks for the debate. Honorable Maris.
You want to land. You still have to wait a while.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, esteemed members of the Executive Council, opposition of the leaders of the opposition parties, and members of the House and the guests. Honorable Speaker, I'm still trying to understand the state of province address. I don't understand the logic behind calling the Limpopo Academic Hospital with the existing hospitals and clinics are failing or falling apart and cannot give service to the people of our province. The only reason I can think of is that it's near election time and the idea will bring votes, however it will make no difference for our province. Our people travel for hours to hospitals and clinics and must go back home without medical care. Medication, some hospitals like Philadelphia Hospital only have one theatre working and serving 3 to 4 smaller hospitals, which is a great concern. Patients are sent home with serious injuries and also fractures because there is a backlog. Why don't you upgrade those hospitals? There's only one of many in our province. Honorable Speaker, during the week of the 4th of August 2020, the MEC Masamola visited the farmers and stakeholders in the Limpopo district. I think you still remember it. By promising them he will come back to fix the roads, which is a terrible state. Already it's gravel road as we speak. And influences the economic growth of our province. We have the biggest production of potatoes and various other vegetables. However, the farmers have to fix the roads themselves with a blade costing 14,000 rand for used ones. Continuously just to deliver the vegetables to market. The farmers are also creating lots of jobs and food security for the province and for the country. But they are left behind and forgotten with empty promises. We also communicated various times with the Office of the MEC for urgent intervention for a sit-down, but still, up till today, haven't received any response. The roads I'm talking about is in Limpopo district, is below all days Marston, Swartwater, Tomberg, Waterberg district, is Marken, Baltimore, Northern Kuduskop, Marbleville, Siabusha, Rutam, Mokopong. They are totally in a bad state. It's unbearable. An accident on those.
May you please sit down?
Honorable Speaker, with due respect, I'm raising on a point of order because I do not know where does this honorable member get these rules to bring an attire that has a logo of a political party in this chamber. I'm talking to you about Honorable Monica Machadi, who's saving a cap simply this emblem of the Husky National Congress on the table. Is sitting there. I do not know what kind of.
Honorable members, what is it?
I'm saying there is a regalia of an organization.
On the table, she's not working it.
So we are not to bring our
What? No, that one is not a problem. Yes. As long as we don't wear it. Yes. As long as. Yes. What are you saying? Can you proceed, Honorable Maris?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also would like, the crime in the province is only escalating.
Honorable Maris, to proceed, Honorable members. Yes.
The crime in the province is only escalating with farmers losing millions in cable theft and transformers. 148 cases outstanding just in Mara, Always, Bokhari area in 1 year's time. Some of the looters are same people that comes back every time. The challenges with the police stations is that they don't have enough power and also not enough vehicles. So, Honourable Premier, I need you please to assist this, because the farmers, they can't keep on fixing enough. As the Freedom Front Plus, we urge the General David to intervene and employ more qualified police officers as crime is increasing in all areas in the province. Honourable Speaker, the Premier was very proud to announce the audit and outcomes of the municipalities. However, for the people who require service from these municipalities, there is still no services, no maintenance, and some municipalities doesn't even have money for face value papers for 2 weeks. We as the Freedom Front Plus urgently request the Premier to investigate to see how many municipalities officials have the qualifications they claim they have. Corruption is the main reason for the decay in our municipalities. So please, Honourable Premier, please. Honourable Speaker, the Freedom Front Plus also supports economic growth. However, the SEZ, the Sina Makari project, will have a devastating impact on water, tourism and cultural heritage. Messina, Makari and Bema district rural areas are struggling for years of water shortage, and this will make it worse. The government has agreements with Zimbabwe for water for the SEZ plant, but not for the people of the province. It seems this is only a political agreement between the government and China, again leaving Limpopo without access to water, which is a human rights violation, and therefore the Freedom Front Plus demands that this project is stopped and that discussions with the relevant stakeholders and communities be held again. Honourable Speaker, I don't have much to say, but I want to conclude on what Chris Hani said. What Chris Hani said, what I fear is that the liberators emerge as elitists who drive around in Mercedes and use their resources of this country to live in palace and gather riches. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Maris. Thank you very much, Honourable members. Honourable Manama, the stage is yours.
Go away! Speaker of our provincial legislature, Honorable Rosemary Limpopo, the Deputy Speaker of the Legislature, Honorable Paul Chitereke Matibe, Honorable Premier for our province, Ndatechuku Stanley Matavata, Honorable members of the Executive Council, the Chairperson of the Chair of Chairs, Honorable members of this August House, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Ndate Mkhonyana, and the Deputy Chief Whip. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, we want to take this opportunity as the African National Congress to appreciate the visionary and judicious leadership of our Honorable Premier Ndatechuku Stanley Matavata, Mahlakia Hlabi Romrwasiamuleya, on your stewardship of this province. Allow me to borrow the African adage which says, no matter how beautifully the chicken dances, it never pleases the horse. Close quote. We are fully aware that you don't have a magic wand, but under your capable hands, Honorable Premier, this ANC-led province is poised for development trajectory that reflects the steady progress in infrastructure investment, building cohesive, sustainable and caring communities with improved access to social amenities, which is a precursor for sustainable livelihood. The SOPA must be understood in the context of that, Honorable Premier, comprehensively identified the substantial progress that the African National Congress-led government has made since 1994, as well as the overarching challenges that still need to be overcome, as well as bringing concrete intervention measures in meeting the objectives of rolling back the quagmire of the triple challenges, which are poverty, unemployment, and inequality. This SOPA cannot be defined only by hope alone, by the evidence of the ANC-led government at work and in action. And there are some tangible deliverables in that SOPA that demonstrate the hard work that under the leadership of the Honorable Premier we are doing at record. Albert Einstein is on record as having said, everything that is really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can labor in freedom. Nothing is as precious as one's freedom. Dreams, aspirations, and ideals mean nothing if one does not have the freedom to pursue them. Close quote. The Honorable Premier has explicitly outlined a multi-pronged turnaround strategy of propelling our province to the highest socio-economic trajectory and accelerating our economic recovery through Limpopo socio-economic recovery plan and industrial master plan by implementing economic reforms of creating sustainable jobs and drive inclusive growth. Madam Speaker, indeed the Honorable Premier was forthright when he said, our economy is showing signs of recovery. As a testament to that, the stats, which is a science, unemployment has reduced by 5% from 36.3 to 31% between 2022 quarter 2 and 2022 quarter 3. At a 3-year average growth rate of 1.6%, the economy is highly to reach the Limpopo economic development target of 2% by the end of the 6th administration in 2024-2025. This positive turn of events shows that undoubtedly the COVID-19 pandemic has severely impacted our economy and imposed debilitating and deleterious impact on our normal way of doing government business. We support SOPA fully because our strong conviction is that it confirms our resolve and commitment in addressing our overarching triple challenges. Unlocking all the blockages like approval of environmental impact assessment, assist for the full implementation of Musina Makato and Fetahomutuba's special economic zones, which are the catalytic projects aimed at contributing towards industrialization, employment creation, and improvement in the quality of life of our people. The operator of Musina Makato, SEZ, Sensheng Hoimor, whose owners grace the state of the province at rest with their presence, assures us of their full commitment to the projects. In terms of the Fetahomutuba's special economic zones, notable strides have been made. The province is in the final process of acquiring a stake in the mining input supplier park in Steelport. That will be part of the special economic zone. The engagement of the mining equipment manufacturers of South Africa to build manufacturing plant to produce mining equipment will create tens of thousands of jobs as well as serving as a supplier to our more than 55 platinum group metals mined in the province. The special economic zones have been tailor-made to ensure that Limpopo province become a honeycomb that attracts investors from far. It is true that we have to report that out of the 209 billion rands that I think the Honorable Premier has counted in terms of the investment in the province, about 50 billion already has been invested, and records are there for reference. Honorable Premier and Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, when we were in Cape Town attending the Investing in Africa in Mining Industry, we addressed more than 5 business communities, international, who wanted to know what are the things that we are doing as the province of Limpopo that are not being done by other provinces. And they were quite excited by the initiative that the Honorable Premier is bringing in this province to ensure that he's scouting and mobilizing investors in the province, unlike in any other province in the country. It is unfortunate that some of us we can't see. Because these economic zones are economic game changers, which will certainly change the economic landscape of our province. It is through this project that we will succeed in our aspiration of beneficiating the minerals that are now exported in raw form into various products such as stainless steel, battery pack, and energy products. On Monday, Honorable Squad, the University of Limpopo has invited academics to come and share with the province about the good work that the province is doing. And they've only invited me and Honorable Squad because they think the Honorable Premier has men and women who understand the economic outlook in the province. That's why the statistics that we are giving are credited, and they give hope to the people of Limpopo. That's why they have confidence on us, this academia, in the province. We must indicate that the province has a competitive advantage of having industrial parks that we are busy rolling out the program to revitalize them. These industrial parks remain breeding ground for industrialism. So far, these parks have collectively created 6,718 permanent jobs. Work is progressing well to build first ever digital hub in Limpopo province within Seychelles. Industrial park, which is one of the things that we are doing to ensure that we revitalize and resuscitate those parks to ensure that they create more job opportunities. Tourism sector is also showing signs of recovery as expanded in the SOPA from braces of COVID-19 pandemic. Limpopo has retained its status of being the most visited province in the country. It has been our collective view that Eastgate, which is normally called Bushbridge Airport, will be elevated to international airport because of the number of flights that we receive on a daily basis. Renewable energy in the form of solar and gas is another form of energy mix applicable to the country. Indeed, investment in solar farms in the province has the potential to reap return on investment because the province is blessed with sufficient sun rays throughout the year. We are guided by the wise words of Amilcar Cabral, who once said, always bear in mind that the people are not fighting for ideas, for things in anyone's heads. They are fighting to win material benefit, to live better and in peace, to see their lives go forward, to guarantee the future of their children. And that's what the state of the province appropriately outlined. Madam Speaker, the dynamic nature of our province requires all of us, as public representatives in this House, to comprehensively address the overwhelming needs and expectations of our people. As members of this August House, irrespective of our political affiliation, we cannot come here and behave like commoners with no responsibilities to stabilize our province in our revolutionary crusade or pushing back the frontiers of poverty. We cannot speak of accountability as if it is only meant for the ANC. It is against this presidium and decorum of our constitutional democracy to reduce ourselves to howl us as empty vessels, which means the most nauseous voice. As public representatives, we have the responsibility of advocating, advancing the aspiration of our people, rather than becoming perpetual complaints without any practical programs. Otherwise, it will demonstrate lack of depth and intellectual bankruptcy, and inability to grasp the objective material conditions imposed by the global economic realities. You can't come through furious and fictitious political undertone as if things are normal. It is quite worrying and disingenuous that some members are hell-bent in focusing on a person, not the good ideas and vision presented through the SOPA. However, great scholars of servant leadership have taught us that irresponsible leaders offer no practical solution in the midst of crisis. The people of Limpopo have legitimate expectation of improved livelihood and dignity. Therefore, we are collectively indebted to work tirelessly towards deepening efforts to transform the economic patterns of the present in order to realize the set vision of our 5 years of office in this sixth administration and beyond, and to ensure that we place service delivery at the center of transformation and developmental agenda. Honorable Speaker, we are inspired and prepared to work hard on ensuring that collectively we put all our hands on the deck to push back the frontiers of poverty and to transform the socio-economic landscape of our province. And that's what I think the SOPA has clearly articulated. The reality is that things have significantly changed, and there is now an urgent need for us collectively to find meaningful ways with this tight fiscal space to boost the economy, protect jobs, curb poverty while reducing inequality. We are subscribing to the words of former President Thabo Mbeki, who once said, "We are on course. Steadily the dark clouds of despair are lifting, giving way to the season of hope. Our country, which for centuries have bled from thousand wounds, is now progressing towards its healing." Close quote. Indeed, the obstacle that hindered our economy will soon fade away, like a morning dew disappearing into the air. We are the children of great warrior men and women who have never retreated. We are unconquerable, will emerge victorious in this battle of pushing back the frontiers of poverty and underdevelopment. We are very grateful as the African National Congress to have a leader of your caliber, Mahlaji, with impeccable struggle, credentials and academic credentials in our midst, who has a vision, but also who is able to implement that vision to the benefit of the people of Limpopo.
Honorable members, honorable members, thank you very much. We are left with 2 speakers, but before I can proceed, so I wanted to check with Honorable Muchadi, but unfortunately she's out. She left. I'm not sure whether she's coming back, Honorable Chief. Because, honorable members, it's difficult from where I'm seated to can see what is happening on your table in front of where you are seated. So I wanted to check with Honorable Muchadi if ever, what Honorable Shoke have raised is indeed true. Because if it is true, I wanted to check with Honorable Muchadi that if it is true, she can remove. Yes, Honorable Chief.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The case is not for Honorable Muchadi, Honorable Mara.
I can hear Honorable Chief. It's not working.
The cap is not for Honorable Muchadi, it's for Honorable Maruli.
Okay.
Honorable Muchadi has got a very nice week on it.
Okay. So I want to remind you, honorable members, to say in this house, those caps which reflect your political logos, they are not allowed. They are not allowed. Like I've said, it's difficult from where I'm sitting. Honorable Shogun. Yes. Yeah, you wanted to speak. Yes. I want to make a ruling, honorable members, for those kind of objects are not allowed in this sitting. So, if I may ask maybe honorable member to remove that cap. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I think it's also fair for you to say you have erred and apologize to us. You raised this point and you gave a ruling that this is allowed.
So, I did not say so. I did not say so. I did not say so. That is why I'm saying, Honorable Shogun, it's difficult from where I'm sitting to can see what is happening in front of the members. So I'm reminding everyone that those kind of objects are not allowed in this house. Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that you must apologize in the forum and apologize that
sit down. Sit down, Honorable Shogun. Sit down. Sit down, Honorable Shogun. I'm not abusing you. Sit down.
We have raised the same matter. Let's give them ruling. Now that you realize that you have told you that this is wrong, you can't make it say this is wrong. You must apologize and apologize.
No, Honorable Shogun. Honorable Shogun, I'm attending this matter, so there is no way when I can determine on when to attend this matter. I'm attending it now. Can you proceed? Sit down. What else say? Can you proceed? No, I've made a ruling now. I've made a ruling. I've made a ruling. To who? To who? No, that is not procedure. No, that is not procedure. I'm listening.
Honorable Speaker, You are literally rendering this house into something that you don't wish for.
What?
Because you can't make a ruling, and after making a ruling, and you realize that you've made a mistake.
No, I did not
And
make a ruling.
that's why you made a mistake. No, but you must listen to me. How do you ever go to talk?
I'm listening.
So I'm saying for the people, we are going to render this house into something that you don't wish to be. Because you can't make a ruling, and then when we agree to a ruling, you can't make a change that ruling. You don't acknowledge that you made a mistake, and that's what you want to. You must acknowledge you made a mistake in your first ruling. Simple as that.
Honorable member, in terms of the rules, if a member is not satisfied with the ruling of the speaker, there are procedures to be followed. So go and read the rules. If you are not satisfied with my ruling, go and follow the procedure. You know what to do. Can you proceed? You know what to do. Go and read the rules. Yes, go and read the rules. If you are not satisfied with my ruling, you know what to do. Can you proceed, Honorable Member?
There's no need for me to go to the ruling.
No.
The point is that you add and then you must acknowledge that.
Can we proceed, Honorable Members? Honorable Malcolm. Honorable Shoka, Honorable Makupecha. We unconsciously give other people permission to do the same close call. Owing to the history dominated by apartheid colonialism, we have set ourselves a journey to build a national democratic society which is non-racial and sexist, democratic, united and prosperous. This is the society which is an antithesis of the past society that was anchored on segregation and brutal oppression of the indigenous people. His release brought hope to majority of South Africans. The relevance of mentioning the release of Dr. Mandela on this day is to highlight that we are today faced with a different struggle as a country, and if we continue to work side by side, we will then be able to overcome all the challenges of poverty, unemployment, and the energy crisis amongst others. Delivering the State of the Nation address on the 9th of this month, President Mandela said as a quote, "When we faced the greatest challenge of apartheid, we did not submit to the oppression that the apartheid regime imposed on our people. We stood firm and engaged in the struggle, hopeful that our cause would triumph. And it did. Against all odds, we were able to defeat the apartheid system. We can and we will change the circumstances in which we find ourselves today. We are both able and determined to overcome these difficulties and place our economy on a firm path to recover close home." We are in the sixth administration, which is anchored on priorities that are outlined by the Premier of Limpopo for the state of the address of the province address last week. Honorable Speaker, let me also salute the Honorable Premier for delivering a comprehensive state of the province address and giving marching orders to all the departments and other government entities. His speech gave hope to the people of Limpopo, as he was able to touch a very important aspect of service delivery that is being rendered by all our provincial governments. The Honorable Premier has consistently articulated a vision of a province which we must all strive to build, a vision that must constitute our shared destiny that is building a modern, dynamic, and growing economy. Having listened to the Premier, as well as several speakers today, particularly those that are representing the African National Congress in this legislature, we can safely agree that the provincial government is determined to ensure that there are giant strides made in building massive infrastructure in the province. It was also encouraging to listen to the Honorable Premier indicating that this office has been assigned to lead a process of working on a comprehensive energy plan to ensure that we build a new electricity generation capacity in our province. This will also allow space for the provincial government and municipalities to work jointly in developing the plan and subsequent implementation. It is my strong conviction that this will also assist government in contributing electricity to the national grid and alleviate the electricity crisis, which currently having a detrimental impact on our economy. I want to commit that the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure will also play an active role in this regard, as the plan will also look at the possibility of putting solar systems in all government buildings. As the custodian of government infrastructure, the province really have a special interest in this matter. I invite all of you to draw courage from the words of the former President Thabo Mbeki, who once said as a quote, "Gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of times. As we said before, we should never become despondent because the weather is bad, nor should we turn palace because the sun shines so strong." Limpopo is an extraordinary province, full of precious mineral resources, tourism, attraction destinations, agricultural projects, and many other economic opportunities. Our urgent tasks are to work together across social lines, political affiliation, and geographic locations to protect our people, rebuild the economy, and continue to develop our province. Honorable Speaker, we are equally delighted that the provincial socio-economic recovery plan is centered in the strides of industrializing the province, has started bearing positive results. The strides that have been made in the two special economic zones in our province will go a long way in creating employment opportunities for our people. It is evident that the provincial government has placed the Limpopo and Lucina Makado Special Economic Zone as following the approval of the environmental impact assessment site.
The good news also coming from the Sukuna land in that environment, impact assessment was granted to Peter Homo towards the season. Honorable Premier said in his words, as I quote, another Italy project we reported about to the state of the province address last year is the Peter Homo towards the season. I'm delighted to report that the environmental impact assessment was granted. We have since allocated a budget for Peter Homo towards the SEZ infrastructure development. We are now ready to submit the application for the designation of Peter Homo towards the SEZ to Cabinet. Surely the Premier cannot take the blame for people who choose to receive particular information and choose not to receive other information. All these monumental developments will help to introduce the burden and pressure that the provincial economy is currently enduring. Government investment on industrialization remains the driving force behind the economic growth of our province. The Premier's address was a clear call to all of us to recommit ourselves to the job at hand, to never deviate from our mandate, and to be aware of the priorities that his sixth administration has set out. It is in this regard that we want to take this opportunity and applaud it for what it is, a bold and progressive call to roll up our sleeves. Simply put, it cannot be business as usual. Honorable members, also allow me to indicate that as we gather here today, 3 weeks after Limpopo was severely affected by floods, even bridges have been washed away across the province, with Mobile and Limpopo district being the hardest hit. Preliminary assessment reports also indicate that 202 roads have been badly damaged. These floods have reversed the work of rehabilitation and patching of potholes that we launched in August last year through Operation Tigami today. The department and its entity road agency Limpopo are prioritizing some roads in terms of regraveling and patching of potholes. We also hope that the national government's declaration of the National State of Disaster will enable us to speedily intervene to repair damaged bridges as well as identify critical roads. In the same breath, I want to indicate that the Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure is continuing in its endeavor of infrastructure provision in different communities as per the mandate to deliver socio-economic infrastructure to the province. We are continuing to re-engineer our approach to assist the province and the country to grow. Premier Chubuseli Matarata highlighted in the significant strides that the department is making in the delivery of schools and roads infrastructure in the province. He has, among other things, highlighted that we recently completed several projects across the province in the 2021-2022 financial year. Honorable Speaker, allow me to emphasize some of the milestones that were outlined by the Honorable Premier as a way of highlighting the giant steps that are being made by the department's entity, Roads Agency Report. In the 2022 State of the Province address, the Honorable Premier made a commitment about the rehabilitation and upgrading of roads in the province, and those projects have since been completed. They include the rehabilitation of 11 kilometers of roads D1589 from Amahubukaland to Amahad and Tifrede in the Capricorn district. The rehabilitation of 7.3 kilometers on roads D2537 roads in Pench in the Sukune district. The rehabilitation of 9 kilometers of road of D11 from Mamamaya to connecting the R81 in the Mobile district is complete. To ensure that the entire D11 is in good condition, we have also appointed another contractor for Phase 3 in November 2022. When Phase 3 is completed, the entire D11 will be in good condition to ensure that the districts of Mobile and Limpopo are connected and is passing through one of the honorable members where we decide on my board. We must indicate that the rehabilitation of 27 kilometers on road D3480 from here to Palabra in the Mobile district is at 67%. We can confirm that Phase 1 of the project has been completed. We have recently appointed a contractor for Phase 2. Maybe one day we need to remind our colleagues just to go into history and check on some of the roads that were rehabilitating. What happened, when were they made, and by whom? Yes. Significant progress has been made on the other projects that Honorable Premier pronounced on in 2022. We have completed the construction of bridge We have also completed the rehabilitation of 5 kilometers on road D3200 Lebaga to Mutabaning, Phase 2 of the rehabilitation of the 8-kilometer stretch of road T4 Ilim to Malangele has reached practical completion. We have seen that the condition of the road from N1 to N is in a dire state. We appointed a contractor to do major rehabilitation. I'm saying major rehabilitation on the basis that the road appears there was never a road before. And go back and check who made that road. We appointed a contractor to do major rehabilitation on the road, and the contractor has already been handed over to the community. Unfortunately, Honorable Marisa has left. I wanted to challenge Honorable Marisa that the same energy she is deploying to engage farmers to submit the roads that need to be rehabilitated. She must utilize the same energy to engage them to come on board, like mines are doing, to help us to build the roads in Limpopo. The same capacity of trucks that are utilized by mines are equally the same as the ones that are utilized by farmers. Let me come on board. I did not tell her to leave unfortunately. I wish her. Thank you so much, Honorable Shishaka. That the two is already on board and we're building the road together. The rehabilitation will take you through if you want them. The rehabilitation of flood damage roads D4240 Maselet East Hukune is at 70%. Phase 1 of the rehabilitation of 40 kilometers and road D1483 Mosina to Bondrick in Venda is complete. We have appointed another contractor for phase 2, who's currently at 75% progress. Upon completion of phase 2, we will appoint another contractor for phase 3 to ensure the road leading to Maburuya Nature Park is in good condition. We have completed the upgrading of 8 kilometers on road D2922, D2919 from Kieron to Chikamusi. The Honorable Premier also gave progress report following the completion of the designs of road D4180 Atop Mine to Raslebe in Supreme. The construction work will commence in the next financial year 2023-2024. Designs have also been completed for road D4260 Malobe to Pokwani in Supreme, and the construction work will commence in the next financial year. The construction work of D4090, D4093, D4094, D4096 Malimata Road in Katuko District will commence in the next financial year. Finally, the construction work for D199 Apple to D190 in Supreme District will commence in the next financial year. I've deliberately highlighted these projects above just to emphasize that the ANC-led government is hard at work delivering services to its people. In 2023-2024, we will again be committed to deliver 25 schools as well as rehabilitating 83 roads across the 5 districts. The department's entity road agency Limpopo has appointed 41 consultant engineering to do detailed designs in communities for the upgrading of roads. This is indeed a demonstration that six administration under the stewardship of Honorable Premier Matawata is determined to deliver improved services to our people. We remain determined towards ensuring that public works, roads and infrastructure becomes the center of delivery of infrastructure for all government departments. In this regard, we will continue to work with members of the Executive Council who are leading various departments that are contributing immensely to service delivery to our people. We are continuing with the implementation of our socio-economic infrastructure project, and we will ensure that ordinary members of the society, especially emerging entrepreneurs in the construction and build industry as a whole, are benefiting. The visionary leadership of Honorable Premier Stanley Matawata, together with his EXCO members, has led the mining sector to join hands with the provincial government in plowing back to communities where they operate. In this recent past, we have seen 12 partnerships with mining houses that are giving back to communities through their social responsibility initiative at an amount of 1.1 billion. Just a week ago, I have witnessed jubilation at Amalega in the Futapo municipality in the Sukune district, where the provincial government was handing over a contractor for the construction of a bridge which will replace existing one-lane steel bridge in the area. It must go without any doubt that this is one of the legacies that Honorable Premier will leave for the people of Limpopo. I'm talking about 129 million worth of a bridge. We appreciate the good justice by these mining companies that are building monuments in terms of infrastructure, augmenting government work of infrastructure provision. We are also missing a point. I'm not talking about a plan. We were handing over a contract. As we undertake the task of delivering quality service to our people, clearly we will time again evaluate how far we have moved through our many programs aimed at delivering our mandate as a Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. Honorable members, especially the ones seated on my left-hand side, we must work together for the betterment of the lives of the electorate who voted for us to come and represent them in this House. We welcome the constructive criticism coming from some of you, but for those who have made it their business to criticize the good work of the ANC-led government for no apparent reason are being exposed as we are continuing to deliver services to our people. Honorable members, allow me to extract a few lines from a poem written by Max Ehrmann in 1927. The name of the poem is Desiderata. And it reads as follows. I quote, I like the smile on your face. Go, as I quote, go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in the silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vicious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievement as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career. However humble, it is a real position in the changing fortunes of time. Close quote. As the ANC-led government will remain resolute and determined in realizing the service delivery commitments that we have made to our people, we have made significant strides in improving the lives of our people, and we know that there is still more that needs to be done by this government of the people, led by the visionary Makata Khabib. All hands should be on deck to give practical meaning of commitments that are announced, Honorable Premier. Let us throw our problems together again.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, the Premier, the President, Honorable members, members of the gallery, receive my revolutionary greetings. Honorable Speaker, this tendency of the Premier's of undermining the intelligence of our people must come to an end. The EFF will continue to expose the half-truth disguised as the real state of the province, when in fact the opposite since he got into office, and he has over the years got away with murder. The Premier is a man who speaks in
Honorable members, can you allow the member, can you give the chance to proceed?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Then, Premier Matavata has been dishonest and disingenuous to our people since he got into office, and he has over the years got away with murder. The Premier is a man who speaks in false terms because he can't keep promises. The Premier has been.
Honorable members, remember it's her first speech. It's her second speech. Can you allow her? Can you give her a chance? It's her second speech. Yes.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, you are right. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay. The Premier has been over the years telling people what they want to hear with no concrete or practical change to their lives. SOPA did not give too much away in terms of detailed, concrete, cogent, and practical manner on how his government achieved promises made last year and the new programs he is introducing and how he is going to implement them going forward. The Premier normally gives excuse that the MECs will outline more, but they too fail to demonstrate practically how they intend changing the socio-economic condition of our people. Thank you. The ANC government, under the leadership of Premier Matavata, has not been aggressive in terms of growing the economy, which will subsequently alleviate poverty and create jobs for the people. There is literally no radical, progressive, and aggressive development programs to change the life of the people of the province. The of cater deployment from SATU.
Department of Teachers.
Also, the Director of Supply Chain.
Honorable Member, Honorable Mahasen. Yes. Thank you very much. Honorable Member, maybe what I can advise, can you stand up, Honorable Member? Honorable Member, can you stand up? Honorable Member, maybe what I can advise is in terms of Rule 95. It reads as follows: a member may not use bodily gestures during the proceeding of the House. When you debate, you just relax, stand alright, don't move your body,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
But you should have started with those who presented before I saw the line. Why me? Left and right, using gestures, why? Meaning I'm hitting, yeah? I'm hitting it like because she's left. But now we must. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Government officials failed to spend budget, and yet no consequences management is applied to responsible officials. Consequences management is a foreign concept under the administration of Premier Matabata. People do as they wish, knowing full well that nothing will happen to them. The majority of these officials are members of the ANC, who are the beneficiaries of cadre deployment. In the Department of Education, for instance, the Director of Employee Wellness only has senior primary teacher's diploma. It is clear that the procedure was not followed in terms of employing this individual. She is a beneficiary of cadre deployment from ZAT. The Director of Supply Chain has qualifications in public management, which has nothing to do with supply chain. The ANC government accommodates their comrades in the education system, even when their qualification and skills do not match the positions they are employed in. The Premier did not adequately address the issue of school infrastructure, as it continues to be a thorny issue. During SOPA, you indicated that, and I quote, school infrastructures remain high on the agenda of this government, as it is environment, and yet majority of the schools still use PT toilets. Sorry, that was the slippery of a child. Thank you very much. Thank you. You only prioritize the small targets, 150 over the next medium term. expenditure framework, period, for school sanitation provision because you do not value the safety and dignity of our children. If any of our children drown in a pity toilet, you will have to carry responsibility for their death. We remember the story of Michael Komabe, and we do not want it to happen again. Even in villages, specifically in Tuesday, where you stay premier, you do not use pit toilet, which means that you value your safety before that of our children. Equally, the premier did not adequately address
Honorable Mapolu.
Organizer Mapolu.
Thank you very much.
Organizer.
With due respect, humbly request my honorable members to give her a chance to speak so that we can listen to what she says.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
Honorable members, allow the member on the podium to finish her speech.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Equally, the Premier did not adequately address the issue of security in schools. Hence, teachers and learners continue to be vulnerable to criminality. Honorable Speaker, the irregular expenditure on scholar transport amount to 1 billion for the 2020-2021 financial year. This excludes the 3 billion irregular expenditure of the previous financial year. It's the 1 billion, you know it. This irregular expenditure may be...
Honorable members, the member on the podium is the leader of the opposition. Can you please respect the member? Please, honorable members. He's the leader of the opposition. May you please respect the member?
Thank you very much. This irregular expenditure may be taken lightly at face value, but it translates into serious corruption that continues to raise its ugly head in the current administration. This is just a tip in the iceberg. The Tumamina slogan was not about the call to send them to change the socio-economic condition of our people. It was about sending them to steal the taxpayers' money. According to the stats, South Africa, 2022, there was an overall decline in the percentage of children aged 0 to 4 who attended grade R and preschool from 36.8% in 2019 to 28.5% in 2021. The highest decline was observed in Northwest, with a reduction in attendance of
Proceed, honorable member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The highest decline was observed in Northwest, with a reduction in attendance of 14 percentage points, followed by Mpumalanga and Limpopo at 11.9% and 11.2% respectively. There is literally no plan, no strategy by the current administration to counter this decline by making sure that more learners are kept on remain in schools until completion. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is disappointed by the Premier for praising the Afrophobic princess and media attention seeker, Popira Matuba, for failing to improve the health system in Limpopo. Honorable
Yes.
Can you give me the time? Honorable Popi Ramatuba, the word was submitted.
No, Honorable Strong, Honorable, she allowed that. That is why I said to her, yes, avoid this thing. I will respond to the members. Just proceed. Yes.
Let me, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, proceed.
Let me repeat it. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is disappointed by the Premier for praising the Afrophobic princess and media attention seeker, the Honorable Popi Ramatuba, for failing to improve the health system in Limpopo. Furthermore, in his SOPA, the Premier said nothing about opening all the health care facilities for 24 hours for the benefit of our people. Just last year in October, a woman was forced to give birth outside a clinic in Beggarsford after allegedly being denied entry by a security guard and a nurse. In this incident, a nurse and a guard refused to open the gate before operating hours. The state clinic offers services only between 7 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. Despite him praising her, the majority of healthcare facilities are in bad physical state, posing serious danger to both patients and health workers. The majority of hospitals and clinics continue to experience chronic shortage of medicine and equipment. To make matters worse, these facilities are not adequately provided with health workers like specialist doctors and nurses. Maybe we need to ask, what is it that Honorable Popi Ramatuba gives it to Premier Matavate that he is so obsessed with her? He just can't let go of her. She is a superstar of Premier, even though she continues to fail the people of Limpopo. Everyone else is either reshuffled to other departments or dismissed, but the Premier keeps on rewarding her for poor performance. The EFF government will make it mandatory for public sector clinics to remain open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The idea in 2023 SOPA that the construction of academic, hospital and the Limpopo theatre will honestly start this year. The construction of academic hospital and the Limpopo theatre is long overdue. The majority of our people continue to be disadvantaged due to the delay in the construction of these projects. Knowing the Premier with empty promises, let us see if this infrastructure project will start exactly in the time frame indicated. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Social Development is unable to fulfill its constitutional mandate because of shortage of social workers. But Honorable Speaker, truth be told, Thank you, Honorable.
As you conclude, Honorable Member, as you conclude,
you must also count my minutes that requested by the Honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, truth be told, we do not have a shortage of social workers as a province. They have been trained and still loiter around the street with no jobs. Government invested a lot in terms of training social workers, but is failing to employ them. There are currently more than 800 unemployed social workers in the Limpopo, and majority of them were trained by government. I thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Sman.
There is no master of pronunciation.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive, Honorable members, officials, and guests, as well as various HODs that are present here today. We must caution against cosmetic changes that don't bring about tangible results when there is a heavy reliance on the private sector to improve the lives of 5.8 million people in Limpopo. This current situation in our province is dire, if not critical. The updated unemployment data that there are now, with 2 provinces in South Africa with an expanded unemployment rate of more than 50%, while Limpopo is towing the line just under 49%. Honourable Speaker, in September 2021, the province hosted the Limpopo Investment Conference. This initiative yielded investment pledges to the value of 208 billion rand. During the 2022 mining Indaba, investment pledges to the tune of a further 35 billion rand was made. To date, 50 billion rand, of which 40 billion rand is from Anglo-American, are in the implementation phases, tantamounts to a mere 20% of these pledges. If we as government is serious about the economy, serious about the spin-offs, serious about the 2.2 million job seekers in Limpopo, then there must be political will by the Department of Economic Development to introduce an office that will directly deal with reducing red tape by unlocking financial pledges and giving effect to our Limpopo economy and improving the lives of our citizens. As we acknowledge the successes of the mining industry, we must question government's rationale to have majority ownership in a chrome mine. CMR, a company wholly owned by LIDA with a 55% shareholder in Sapateng, has already invested 100 million rand with no dividends paid to the shareholders. Honourable Premier, we are not in the business to operate and manage mines, but rather in setting a conducive environment where companies can trade and receive basic services in which they can thrive and surrounding communities can prosper. Honourable Premier, as you reflect on government's performance of the previous financial year, you conveniently neglected to broach on the 1.6 billion rand underspend and the inability to hold office bearers accountable for the biggest ever underspend by this Limpopo government. The inability by accounting officers to hold their respective departments and officials accountable were a notable offence picked up both by the Auditor General and by the SOPA portfolio. One of the major underspending culprits was Costa underspending their budget by 237 million rand, and should one add the implementing agent HDA, a further 85 million underspend should be added. We could have improved the lives of vulnerable households by building a further 2,316 RDP houses, but due to weak internal controls and a lack of accountability, these houses were not built and lost. Limpopo people remain desperate. To add insult to injury, the previous HOD, and I want to thank the MEC for taking action against the HOD, awarded 9 contractual houses to 200 different contractors respectively in a deliberate attempt to weaken the department's performances. We can no longer have HODs that do not share the vision of this government. We do recognize the attempt to build and improve the 4 dams in our province. However, we need to realize the lack of access to 1.8 million people who do not have water, which infringes on their human rights and is a hindrance to equality and dignity as set down our Constitution. To exacerbate on this crisis, most of our municipalities cannot supply our residents with a constant water supply. Lack of access to water for periods up to months with no temporary relief measures are forcing people to rely on pirate water supplies who sell water, in some instances stolen from the very municipalities who cannot provide water, have become commonplace. Honourable Speaker, this year we acknowledge the class of 2022 for their resilience and performances. But if we are honest, our quality of our teaching and support towards both learners and educators are simply not good enough. It is of great concern that only 3,114, or 32.9% of the 9,455 progress learners who wrote these exams passed. The number is a huge drop from the 12,050 progress learners in 2020 and 15,515 in 2020, and raises suspicions of attempts to hold back progress learners or keep them stuck in the system. We should also note the following: discrepancies between fee-paying, non-fee-paying, and independent schools in our system. Fee-paying, 5,553 learners wrote, 4,913, or 88.5% passed, and the province ranked 4th overall. Non-fee-paying schools, 101,285 learners wrote, 71,337, or 70% passed, and the province ranked 8th nationally. Independent schools, 3,457 learners wrote, 3,243 passed, 93.8% passed in our province, and we ranked 2nd nationally. The huge discrepancy of results between independent and fee-paying schools and non-fee-paying schools that depends on government resources is of great concern, and is indicative that the department is not offering enough support or resources to improve results outputs in the non-fee schools. The load shedding currently experienced in South Africa has crippled our economy. and negatively impacted the general well-being of its citizens. The South African government has perhaps not not at the pace required, implemented various electricity policies to try to alleviate the pressures on the national grid while transitioning away from coal. The recent amendments to the Energy Regulations Act 4 of 2006, especially the removal of the 100 megawatt threshold for embedded electricity generation, has encouraged several companies to establish their own embedded electricity generation facilities, with several large mining and industrial companies aiming to achieve carbon neutrality between 2035 and 2025 and 50. While APP's projects serve to address capacity constraints on the national grid, the large scale of renewable embedded generation presents electricity security to the industry while lessening the demand on the grid. These developments cannot provide the immediate relief required to address load shedding. The development of a province-specific and comprehensive energy plan must be a consultative process which is transparent and costly. At no stage should this plan enforce unbudgetary mandates onto any department or entity. The DA fully supports the investments towards IEEE. Honourable Premier, we should be grateful that large parts of our province were not affected by Cyclone Freddy. Like in the past, when we are negatively affected by major disastrous storms, this government was slow to react. The commercial agricultural sector in the province consistently contributes towards the country's food security and job creation, and is partially vulnerable when floods and disasters affect our province. It is therefore concerning that the Department of Agriculture was only able to spend 15% of its allocated disaster funds during the previous financial year at the expense of desperate farmers seeking assistance. Finally, Honourable Premier, does the number 45,301 mean anything to yourself and to this House? Since you were sworn in, Honourable Premier, in 2013, 45,301 vulnerable citizens, mostly women and children, have reported sexual assault to one of our police stations in our province. 45,301 women and children were courageous enough to do so and must be applauded, as research indicates that only 1 out of every 9 victims report such crimes. The other 362,408 have lost faith in the criminal justice system or were turned away at the police station, did not report the crime because the chauvinistic and patriarchal society that we live in propagate women into submission, were paid off or were threatened with the loss of livelihoods if the sexual assault took place at work. Honourable Premier, every day 13 women and children report rape cases to police stations across Limpopo. Yet again, you did not step up to provide a comprehensive plan against the source of gender-based violence in Limpopo and to allocate resources to your government and to credible NGOs who provide victim-centered services, included legal assistance, and support to their shelters and victim assistance at the various courts. Your legacy will forever be tainted by the number of 45,301, which is increasing daily. Honourable Premier, the people of Limpopo are desperate. Desperate for a caring government. Desperate for safer communities. Desperate for a better tomorrow. Desperate for a better future. A future of dreams and opportunities. Let me conclude with a quote by John Wesley. Our mission concerning the salvation of souls must also include addressing social issues such as poverty and injustices. Together, this House must put the lives of the 5.8 million people in our province first and work together for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Ismail. Honorable Elisina. Honorable Shoga. Can you give Honorable Elisina a
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on the point of privilege.
Yes.
We are not sure whether we are safe in this house because we are seeing new faces and we are not told anything. We don't see Honorable Butani, Honorable Rapela, Honorable Mushala. We just see people who are certainly insulting us.
What makes you think you're special?
Honorable MEC, Honorable Butani, Honorable Mushala, Honorable Rapela, they've resigned and replaced by the 3 honorable members that we see here. Honorable Mapolu, Honorable Marana, and the 3rd one, Honorable Ramalobela. Ramalobela. Yes. I've answered your concern. Thank you very much. You may now proceed to our loudspeaker. Can I proceed, Honorable Shaw? We will now call upon our last speaker, Honorable Sulamulela.
Honorable Premier, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Matipe, the Chief Whip of the Legislature and indeed the Chief Whip of the majority party, the ruling African National Congress, the Chair of Chairs, Mam Yamani, Leader of Government Business, Tlhabirwa, Honorable Squati, members of the Executive Council of our beautiful province, colleagues, compatriots, the Director General of the province, Honorable colleague Napin Chabilim and your team of administrating head of departments, and members of the public in the gallery. I want to take this moment to greet you, Honorable Speaker, in the name of love, patience, and tolerance. Love, patience, and tolerance. I'm saying this because, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, when you have a new baby girl in the house at home, and she's jumping around in a new red jumpsuit, scratching about and around, breaking glasses in the kitchen, breaking the vase in the sitting room, all you must do is to show her love. Let's go about trying to crown, pronouncing wrong words because he's still learning the vocab. You must be patient with her. You must do that because she's a new member of the family and you must really be patient with her. As she pronounced one of your members at home, she's obsessed with her name, whether Daddy, Mommy, Yamakuba, Ramatuba, Yobi, and so forth. Please be tolerant. It is a learning curve. But Honorable Munama, you are right. We too must teach the new baby not to just jump around before she can even be named. We must first name the new baby before she can walk around and jump around in the kitchen. So it is against this background, honorable members, colleagues, compatriots, that I really plead upon you that those who are on a new curve, let's crowd with them. Thanks very much. Honorable Speaker, I deeply listened with serious attention to the discussion by honorable members of this House, particularly those who had progressive views from the progressive organization, the African National Congress. And as I listened to them, first and foremost, I listened to Honorable Mkhonyana. And Honorable Mkhonyana comes to us and say, for us to debate properly this particular state of the province, we must first take a stock of where we come from. We must travel down the memory lane and ask ourselves where we were when the Honorable Premier took over the reign of this particular province. And I think he says that's the only best way we can be able to locate where we are as a nation and as a people of this particular province, but equally we can be able to assess whether indeed this important speech that he has given, because this is the speech that he has given when 90% of the term is almost consumed, all of us were on exit. So it's important to take that particular stock. And I've heard you, Honorable the Chief Whip, because indeed you are the feeder, you are the leader of all of us here. So as we debate, we must follow what you say. Now, in doing that, as I traveled the memory lane, Honorable Premier, I was reminded that in 1859, one of the great English writers that I love very much, Charles Dickens, wrote a book or a novel called A Tale of Two Cities. And in that novel, Charles Dickens gives a paradox of two cities of that particular time, the London city and the city of Paris, before and during the what revolutionaries will call French Revolution. And in that, as he gives that paradoxes, I went through that paradoxes and I wanted to use that paradoxes to define where we come from. And he says, and I only focus on the west side of that particular right because it's where we come from. He says it was the west of time. We come from the west of time. It was an age of foolishness. It was an epoch of disbelief. It was a season of darkness. It was a spring of no hope and a summer of despair. Why are we saying this? We are saying this because, as Honorable Mkhonyana alluded, when Mahlathi Hlabirwa took over the reign of this particular province, we had basic challenges in the healthcare system. The hospitals lacked basic amenities, drugs for chronic diseases were not available, food for patients was scarcely available, maternal death and infant mortality rate was reaching the sky level and alarming rates. Now, where are we? Today, Honorable Maharaj, we run a solid healthcare system. We run a progressive healthcare system. This is the healthcare system, Honorable Premier, that we envisaged in 1992 in our Ready to Govern document, when we committed to the people of South Africa that when we come to power, we will run a single, coordinated, progressive, efficient, and effective healthcare system to the benefit of our people. That's what we said, and that's where we are. To prove that this healthcare system is working. It is this healthcare system, Honorable Ramathuba, that made us to navigate through the most catastrophic pandemic in the world, the COVID pandemic. That's where we are, Honorable Premier. And to this effect, from your state of the province, we commend you and your team of executive and indeed implore on you to speed up your intervention of bringing about the solar systems as an alternative source of energy for all our public health facilities. Because we must continue to run an effective, efficient healthcare system. And the solar system will bring about that particular stopgap in that particular intervention. The coming in of the academic hospital is just yet another indication that we are upping the game in terms of just moving from tertiary level of our healthcare to the quaternary level, because the academic hospital, Honorable Shoka, is the highest level of care that we can ever have. So now, the coming in and the groundbreaking of that particular project and the commitment made by yourself, Matajia Klaviran, that made through the budget speech of the Minister of Finance, is a confirmation that we are on track as a people and as a nation. Honorable Speaker, it was a summer of despair where we come from. It was a summer of despair, Honorable Speaker, because our road infrastructure and our public infrastructure was near collapse. Our roads were characterized by Bermuda Road. And we can stand here today. We can stand here today, Honorable Manaka, without fear or contradiction that the road infrastructure delivery in this province is on track. This is, of course, not appreciated. We appreciate the fact that there might be backlog here and there, potholes coming also as a result of the rains and so forth and so on, but we are on track. And we commend the good work that the Department of Public Roads, Works and Infrastructure continue to do in this regard, because our understanding, Honorable Shoka, that road infrastructure delivery is directly connected to economic emancipation. You can never emancipate our people if we can't give them roads, because we must give them roads to access hospital, to access points of delivery, but also to facilitate trade. So it was a season of darkness, Honorable Premier. It was a season of darkness because the education system was met with challenges. What are these challenges? Learner material was not available in schools. Books were not there. We had general shortage, and the system was indeed characterized and bereaved with crisis. But if we are to look, Honorable Mavungule Ramakanya, by the outcome of the matric class of 2022, we can look behind our shoulders with pride that indeed we are on track. Indeed we are on track. But Honorable Shoka, beyond just the quantitative outlook, you must equally look, as the Premier said in the state of the province, at the qualitative aspect of those particular metric results. It is what we must commend, and we are on track. 2 years ago, Honorable Premier, in the state of the province, you gave an analogy of a province rising from the ashes like a phoenix. And I think the phoenix is rising from the ashes. Honorable Premier, we're coming from a summer of no hope. It was a summer of no hope because the economy of the province was stagnant. There were no economic opportunities. Young people were in despair. And the mood of the investors was jittery, and there was generally disinvestment in the province. Today, Musina Makado Special Economic Zone, Fedahom towards the Special Economic Zone are the crown, are the jewels on our crown and a medal of leadership of this particular province. And that's commendable. The intervention you have made, Premier, in terms of supporting the youth development strategy by putting about resources into that particular strategy tells a story of a provincial leadership led by the African National Congress that is not just committed to youth development, but that's practicalizing youth development. And to that effect, we commend you, the Honorable Premier. Honorable Razilan, when she was here, she also gave a very important lesson that part of what we must do as leaders is to teach others so that they can teach others. The fallacy said by one of the speakers here, who's my friend, who I must not name for the fear of being disrupted, that government must build cities. As an imagination out of the world. Government cannot build cities. Government must spark and ignite economic activity, and out of economic activity, cities will be created. The work that we are doing in Fedahom, the work that we are doing in Musina, will definitely create cities out of the economic activity taking place in those jurisdictions. It is important to give these lessons because Honorable Premier, albeit challenges at hand, our people are getting shelter. Our people are getting houses. Our people are being accommodated. They are being redeemed from the past that we come from. We come from the past pre-1994, where it was a luxury to stay in a walled house. Today we can stand here before the people of this province and say, indeed, we are delivering houses to our people, albeit challenges at hand. The government is trying its level best to provide water to those who need it. That's where we are, honorable members. We indeed are from a summer of despair where public accountability was almost not there, where our disclaimers, qualified audit opinion characterized our government. Today, as you said, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, as you said in your State of the Province address, disclaimers, qualified audit opinions, and general administrative collapse is an issue of yesterday. We're running a solid administration. We are envisaging that very soon we'll reach your aspiration of a clean government with clean audits of all departmental entities. And this consistency is also starting to be seen at the local government sphere. And that, as we know, is the phase call of our delivery. And if indeed we are turning the tide until that particular level, indeed, we are on track as a province. And this is, of course, as a result of your effort, Honorable Premier and your members of executive. And all this doesn't happen out of nothing, because out of nothing, nothing comes. This happened because of the good work that your team is putting in place to indeed ensure that all of us, we deliver. All of us as honorable Rafael said here that we must all have our hands on deck to deliver for our people. Honorable Razilani has said earlier on that as much as this good is happening, there are those who, for the reason of cheap political point scoring, may look the other way. But because we understand, and I want to borrow from, in summarizing them, I want to borrow from what Prophet Muhammad said in 1623 AD in the town of Mecca, in the Arab land, in what we call the Mount Arafat, on the occasion of him giving the last sermon. I remember, I trust Honorable Maharaj to remember what Prophet Muhammad said. And he said, I quote, "Beware of Satan for safety of your religion. He has lost all hope to lead you." Beware of Satan for the sake of your religion, because he has lost all hope to can lead you. Honorable Premier, where our people, our predecessors met in 1955 in Cape Town to come with what we call the Cape Town Charter, the People's Charter, the Freedom Charter. Our forebearers defined a path for us. They set a tone of a South Africa that we must live in. They told that all of us here must contribute towards building that desired society that they have set for us. And indeed today we can say to you, Honorable Premier, you have put the train back on the rail. We can say without fear that the glory of the effort of this generation will be felt more by the forthcoming generations. The cities you are building in the say now are not only for the sake of ourselves and this current generation, but they outlive us. The fruits of those generations will be passed by the generations to come. And that's what our forebearers wanted when they worked so hard to pass a token to us, that when we receive the token, we must build it for the next generation. And indeed, Honorable Speaker and friends, on that occasion of the last sermon, Prophet Muhammad, as he concluded, he said, "O Allah, be my witness that I conveyed your message to your people." And I want to say, Honorable Premier, we too are today saying we are the witness of the effort of yourself and of your government to deliver us to where we are today. Indeed, Honorable Munama, we are, as a people, we are descendants, as President Beki said, of great men and women, the great warriors who Skukuni and Hinza taught never to dishonor the cause of freedom. We shall dare, we shall never fail. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, honorable members. We have now come to the end of our debate. Let's proceed to item 8. Are there any announcements?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The Speaker has got a token of appreciation that is being given to members, and those who have not yet received that token of appreciation must, when they move out, contact the protocol staff to receive that token of appreciation. We also have lunch. Lunch is served, and all honorable members are invited. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want lunch to go.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you very much, honorable members. The House is adjourned to Thursday, 2nd March 2023 at 10 hours in this Limpopo Legislative Chamber. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Speaker.